first comp I was ever in, I flunked pretty hard. I got knocked out in the first round by the guy that ended up coming third. He was a pretty fierce contender, and he was from Sydney, very well versed in latte art comps. So I got called in as a wild card towards the end and went up against a mate of mine. However, I missed out on one slight detail, and that was not filling up the cup too much. So as I was taking the cup over, the design slipped off the side. One of the most horrifying moments of my life, and I still get nightmares about it. So, to help you avoid that, I'm going to be divulging some of the tips and tricks to making that latte art perfect. First step is to ensure that your milk is steamed perfectly. You want to make sure that you've got the right amount of milk in the jug and that the milk is the right temperature. So normally you will steam in a slightly bigger jug, like a 12-ounce jug, and then pour into a slightly little one like this. That gives you more control, and it also means that you can have the perfect amount of milk, so you don't really have to worry about dosing it. The second thing you want to look for is the cup that you pour into. This is one of my favorites. You notice that the volumes at the bottom are thinner than the volumes up the top. That means that as your coffee rises, you will have a good bit of room to do the design without too much variation in the sizes. As if your vessel is looped in more, it can distort your actual picture. So the first step is priming the canvas. You'll have your shot in the cup, and the crema will become your canvas. It is a thick layer of gas, so unless you're swirling it or even stirring it with a spoon, you want to make sure that you're breaking it up. Good way to do that is with the jug. You want to be doing circles from the middle, working your way out, back in. The second thing is the actual design you're going to work with. There's Tulips and Rosettas, which are good starters. They teach you a very, very basic little hand movements to go with your coffee. So tulip is blobs, and a Rosetta is the wiggle. Now, the best way to start this to get your control right is to do an apple. So the apple is just a blob. And as you're pushing the froth out and straightening it out, you will get a nice circular pattern. From there, once you've got that mastered, you can pull it through into a heart. So the tips that I will pass on outside your actual design is to make sure that your pattern is in the center of your cup, to make sure that the color of the crema and the coffee is perfect. It's all one color, one consistency. It's very, very easy to, when your crema is not broken up, to get those big chunks of crema just sitting there. And if your milk isn't right or you're pouring too much froth in, you can get the white slipping up underneath. The other thing is symmetry. You want to make sure that both of the sides of the design match. You don't want one side being bigger than the other one. These are the things that they will be looking at if you ever go to a latte art comp, well outside your actual design. The other thing that I see people fail on a lot is the actual cutting off. So as you pull through and pour, you want to stop at the end of your design. Lots of people go over the edge of the cup. Doesn't look very good. Doesn't make you look very professional at all when you've got a couple of drops of milk sitting on the edge there. And if you enter a comp, you will lose points for this. The last thing is to make sure your design isn't overfilled. Otherwise, you will end up like me, with your cup having no design on top, because the design volcanoed down the side. These are the elements that you should look for when you are pouring latte art, whether you're just starting out or making your designs even better.